It's going to be live right now. Quad pod time, halftime, second game. Did anybody see 7-3 Saints? Did anybody have 7-3 on their board for this halftime?
You guys had the under,
yes.
So you weren't too far off.
We do have the under. We just lost Dutch in the beginning. I think he froze up there. So Dutch will come back. He probably got pissed off because he saw that it was 7-3, or he's watched too much Nickelodeon in the first half. Too much slime. But JJ, should we try to hit this middle?
Yes.
Or you already hit the middle, right?
I was going to, and it changed. So I got it at 33, over 33. Now it's 32 and a half, minus 120 at DraftKings.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to hit the middle. I'm not putting a full stake on it like I did the under. I don't want to wash on this.
Right. Just let me retweet things here, and you can give your take on the first half here. But this is not what we saw, right, Yanni?
I certainly didn't. I definitely did. Now, you guys were on the under, so kudos to you guys. I passed on this game because I was not on the under. I think when we talked on your podcast, I was on the opposite side. And again, kudos to you guys. I'm glad you talked me into, or, I heard enough to at least pass on taking the over here. Yep. There's a couple of things I would bring up in this game. I think both teams to some extent are doing what they want, and both teams are not. But here's the overarching thing that I'm seeing, not only in this game, but we're seeing in the playoffs at all. And that's these coaches. I don't know what it is, but it's like tense up when they get to the playoffs, right? I mean, when does Sean Payton on 4th and 2 at the 38-yard line punt? I mean, that's not who he is. So, I think we saw it in 2 of the games yesterday. And I mean, you could even make the case in all 3 games, but we saw it in at least 2 of the games, and we're seeing it here. These coaches, it's like they're afraid to make a mistake in the playoffs, and they're not playing who they are. So let's break this down really quickly. Bears dropped a TD on what was a very awesome creative play, the way you need to beat this aggressive Saints defense. I mean, they had it there right through the breadbasket. That could have been a huge turning point to put a lot of pressure on New Orleans. Conversely, New Orleans should be scoring a lot more than they are in this game, which that would have put a lot of pressure on Chicago. So when you look at this at halftime, you could have had 2 different scenarios completely the opposite ways. You could have had Chicago exactly where they want to be, or you could have had New Orleans exactly where they want to be. Instead, here we are, it's halftime, and it's basically like a scratch, right? We're kind of starting over. So I think when you look at plays for the second half, there's a couple things to look at here. I think now we have to say, New Orleans, how tense are they going to be knowing their playoff history the last 4 years and the fact that they're in a dogfight here? Are they going to be even more tense? I'm scared, man. I don't know. Saints, right?
Yep. If you're a Saints fan right now, you're scared. Like you're just like, I've seen this. I saw this last year, first round. I've seen it time and time again. We talked about it at halftime of the last game. Sean Payton hasn't covered a home playoff spread since 2012. He's won games, obviously, but you've seen this time and time again. I know Sean Payton has a Super Bowl, but they just kind of pucker up, and it's like, what are we doing here? Like, this is the playoffs. You don't need to save anything else. Like, all right, you can save some of your plays maybe for Tampa next week, but you got to get to next week first.
The last point I'll make as far as the game itself is I always feel that Sean Payton is one of those coaches, and sometimes we see it with the kind of the high-flying coaches, right? The Andy Reids, those kind of coaches. Sometimes they just get too cute, right? I mean, it's like we saw Andy Reid a couple weeks ago on 4th and 1 throwing some receiver pass with Sammy Watkins. I mean, it's like, just get the first down. And, you look at this game, and I get it. Taysom Hill, he does some great things, but, we saw what happened. Would that have happened with Breeze in there? I don't know. Hard to say. But what I do know is Alvin Kamara is having success when he has the ball. They're not giving him the ball.
So just keep doing that. He's your best player. He's your best
player the ball. Absolutely.
Playmaker.
To me, if I'm the Saints, I am force feeding him the ball in the second half, and I'm living and dying with him. I'm not trying cute things. I'm not getting crazy. I want to see what Kamara can do. So that's the last point I have there. As far as betting angles, I want to hear what you guys have. Obviously, you guys have some things middling and that, but I'm curious overall what you like in the second half.
Second half, I'm pulling up. Dutch, do you have anything up that you like? Do you have too much slime on you from the first half, or how you doing?
Stuff that I have that I like? No, I don't like anything that I've touched this weekend. So, no, I don't. I'm looking at stuff for sure, though.
Yeah, second half here. I'll cut you off. Sorry, but second half. 6 points, Saints favored by 6 points in the second half, over under 23. I'm going to try to go for the middle. That doesn't mean that that's the halftime play. I'm going to go for the middle right here. JJ and I have the under 48. That opens up a very wide middle, like a 15-point middle.
Yeah.
Let's look at team totals also. I think that the Saints get it going to a certain extent, but I don't know that I want to pay up for like team total is probably going to be what, 20.5?
20.5 right now at minus 139.
Lucky guess by me, or good guess. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I should set the lines and not actually bet on the lines.
There you
go. Could be better off doing that. 20.5. I mean, if they do what Yanni is saying to do here and what everybody knows that they should do, give Alvin Kamara the ball, maybe they get there. But I don't know. JJ, second half plays?
I'm a little more snake bit on this second half over after the last game, where I pressed the limits there and looking for more offense and didn't find it. But I agree with Yanni when it comes to New Orleans on the offensive side. But here's something that you brought up when we did the last live halftime was that if New Orleans is stopping Montgomery and they're getting him at the line and they're shutting that whole run game down, that should be your barometer that Chicago is going to struggle to put up points. So maybe it's more of an under for the Bears than it is an over, just a general over in the second half. But that's, I'm not sure I really have any strong feelings on that.
The strong feeling that I have right now is that that's the biggest banner that I've ever put up on StreamYard here. Like, I didn't think that it could possibly be bigger, but I'm going to put that down right now because it takes up, like, it's bigger than all of our heads combined, but the bet will come. This is a tough one.
So 10.5 for the Bears under.
That's what I was looking at while JJ was talking there. 10.5. I mean,
that's kind of low though. Yeah,
that's kind of low, right?
You're floating the razor's edge there.
That's 10.5 is low.
It makes me want to go over, but then
it makes me want to go over.
Go back under.
It makes me want to go over for sure.
I'm the opposite with you guys. I think if I were playing that, and I'm not going to, but I think if I were playing that, I'd lean under. It's low for a reason. I think, again, if the Saints tense up, which is possible, I think we're probably not going to see a lot of points in the half. I mean, I think the only way it goes over is if New Orleans does come out and just all of a sudden start racking up some points, in which case then obviously the Bears, might loosen up and they might get there. Let me give you a couple potential bets here really quick that I am seeing here. So this is on Bovada, but it's on DraftKings as well. Alvin Kamara, anytime touchdown scorer, plus 130. He traditionally, if they're going to score in the second half, there's a damn good chance it's going to be him, right? So plus money there at plus 130. I mean, I just put in a small, a little bet on that. And then the other one that I actually like, and this is kind of one of those little bit of a coin flip, but first possession out of the second half, plus 125, Bears under 20 yards. So we're basically saying, are they going to get more than 2 first downs on their first possession? The way their offense has been playing outside of that missed bomb, which was basically a gadget trick play, I don't think they're going to get there. I think at plus money, that's a shot you can take as well. I know those are a little bit off the board, untraditional bets as opposed to, looking at the spread or totals here, but I like the Kamara anytime touchdown angle, and I actually put in a few bucks on the Bears there as well. So on that under 20 yards on first possession.
I'm going to find that as well right now on Fando. I'm going to put that up right now. Kamara TD plus 130. I also like that under 20 yards for the Bears. The more and more that I think about it, 10.5 is a low number. They're only at 3, and the Saints, it's not like they can just give up on defense. Like if there's any garbage time, it would be if they were up big, and maybe they end up going up 24-3 and don't care. Then it ends up being 24-10, 10.5 all of a sudden. I mean, I would lean under.
I dug a little deeper into the 10.5, and we can go down just at the third quarter and get 2.5. So over under 2.5 by the Bears team total there in the third quarter.
2.5 in the third quarter.
I mean, if they're going to score, they got to get on it, right?
I was gonna, but if you're getting 2.5, I think you have no choice but to go over, right? You're basically saying they're going to score. Right. I mean, the question is, are they going to score in the third quarter with that bet, right? Which. I mean, even against a stout defense, even with the Bears offense, I think you would have to go over with that one.
Drew Brees over under passing attempts were earlier reaching, but I'm thinking this is interesting. Over under 36.5. He's already at 23 pass attempts. I know that they have the lead, but hey, if Chicago ends up scoring or making it like 7-6, or say that they go up 10-7, I mean, Bree's going to throw the ball. You got to get 14 more attempts. I don't know. It's like he has to throw the ball a little bit. Like I know he's not going to go downfield that much, and they might bring in Taysom Hill, or maybe they're going to be reluctant to bring in Hill because he turned the ball over.
He did.
I mean, that's what's keeping them in this game.
We got to get back into the slime zone.
Ugly, yeah.
We really have to get back into the slime zone. We need some points from the Bears. I'm taking the third quarter over 2.5. I have to do it. I have to get my soul right.
2.5. Just saying, Bears are going to kick some kind of field goal, and then you
get to the 35-yard line and kick it.
Exactly.
Yeah, just get there and just boot it through. Just
avoid a double doink and let's go.
I'll tell you what, guys, we had some overs yesterday. I think overs were, depending on your number, 2-0-1. If you had the Bills early in the week, you hit an under. But today we have a strong under, like way under in the first game. Knock on wood, this is way under in the second game. And maybe this is a good segue to get into the night game. I know we talked about it a little bit from the last stream, but any thoughts you guys have had for Browns Steelers? I'm still in the boat of I think Steelers win this game. And I think they cover this spread. I saw 5.5 earlier. I think it might be ticking back up to around 6. I think they get it done. That whole first-time quarterback, Baker Mayfield, I don't like betting on first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs, and that's what Baker is without a head coach on the sidelines.
That's a tough one. I agree. My feel bet, I just, for some reason, I love Baker. I mean, you saw the picture I sent you this morning. I don't know what
he's running for his life, so maybe you can bet on him. Yeah.
Get locked out of the stadium.
He does have good commercials, but on the road, and I think Pittsburgh's going to have some fans there, and if they don't, they'll pump in some fake crowd noise. Baker on the road, first-time playoff quarterbacks don't have good records overall. That spread is 5.5. I saw some 6s earlier. I talked about potentially teasing Steelers and the Packers. Packers are at -7. BetOnline wouldn't let me tease it though. I guess they're not going to let you tease until later on in the week. So maybe after this game, if there's lines up at Bovada that they allow you to tease, you can take a look at it. But yeah, if you like Baker, you can take the over rush yards maybe because he'll be running for his life from that.
I think I'm just going to root for him, but I do have him. I have the Browns and a tease from the Ravens. So I had Ravens, Browns, and a tease. So
nice.
I'm still rooting for the Browns for sure.
You can root for Nick
12
Chubb
points to work for.
Run it all the time.
Absolutely will. I will absolutely be on that.
Yeah, some of the Yanni recommendations from earlier, Nick Chubb over rush yards, where we say was 63.5. It's probably gone up. Like I bet you it's touching 70 now. And Juju over 5.5 receptions. I'm on those. Yeah. I don't like the Steelers, so I want the Browns to win. That's why I haven't bet on the Steelers yet. But I like to bet with my, mind instead of my heart, and I just can't see the Browns pulling it off here, man.
It's going to be a tough one. It could be a fun one, but that's a long shot for sure.
Well, and we're riding the over on that one. We've got 47, so it's like opposite of this game. We're going to be rooting for just bad defense.
Bad defense. I like that. And we were talking about some Steelers team totals. If you can find a team total that's not too juiced, if you can find something in that 24.5 range, 26.5 is going to be pushing it, but I think that they should be able to get their points. So I like that. And it looks like, if chalk prevails, and we're not going to assume that because the Bears are in this game and who knows with the Browns, but we would have Ravens Chiefs next week, right? And BetOnline hung a line early. I think it was 4.5 that I saw for Ravens Chiefs. So that could be a very intriguing matchup next weekend. So I'm looking forward to all those games. We'll break those down throughout the week. But all right, Kamara TD. I don't have anything else other than the over.
The middle. Trying to get this middle, buddy.
Get the middle. Even if I didn't have the middle, I might lean over. Things open up a little bit, and maybe there's some turnovers. I mean, if this gets the 14-3 Saints, Bears have to open it up a little bit. We know that Mitch is capable of turnover, so you could get a turnover and some points off of that. So okay,
he's been playing well. He's playing well. So I don't know. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's not his first playoff game. I mean, he played against our Eagles. I'm rocking the Eagles hat here because I think that the way both teams are playing right now, the Eagles could win this game, but they're not in the playoff and they have a disaster. Talk is now that there's not a sure shot that Doug Peterson's coming back to the team. So I'm just rocking my support because this team's an absolute dumpster fire. But we'll talk about that in the offseason.
Yep.
You know, so okay, good stuff.
All right, back to Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
Later.
back to slime time.
Second half slime. Let's get it.
All right, fellas, let's get it. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.